Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator. And in this video, we're going to talk about Kevin McCarthy here and that House Republicans propose planting 1 trillion trees as they move away from climate denial. And towards the end of this article, Alina Moffett, who is the executive director of Evergreen Action, an environmental group that promotes urgent action, she said that you are seeing a recognition in the Republican Party that climate change is something they are going to have to at least acknowledge because their constituents are dealing with it on a daily basis and it's having an increasing economic toll. So in 2023, we can expect national public servants of any party, but here they're talking about conservatives, to at least acknowledge, okay. Well, that's not going to solve problems, and neither is 1 trillion trees. So, Kevin McCarthy, he's leading this. This article came about because Kevin got asked in a press conference. He visited a natural gas drilling site in Northeast Ohio to promote House Republicans' plan to sharply increase domestic production of energy from fossil fuels last month. And he was asked about climate change and forest fires, and McCarthy responded with, "Plant 1 trillion trees." And further down in the article, it says the idea of planting 1 trillion trees, it was from a 2019 study that suggested planting trees to suck up heat, trapping carbon dioxide from the atmosphere would be one of the most effective ways to fight climate change. Major conservative groups and the Donald embraced the idea. You know why? Because it's easy. Okay. And hey, I'm for planting trees. Sure. Okay. That's, even though it says that planting 1 trillion trees would require a massive amount of space, roughly the size of the continental United States. Okay. But, trees, not just do they absorb carbon dioxide, they produce oxygen, okay, which is what humans breathe, and they help cool the planet just by providing shade. So, trees do a lot of good. They provide habitat for animals, and they are just part of the cycle. And I am all for trees. But what Kevin McCarthy is ignoring is the light years best environmental education and agenda that the world needs. And I've presented this to Kevin, I don't know, somewhat recently, probably when he took over as speaker. And I called his office. We can call his office right now. And if I believe correctly, I used to get through. I have recordings of me calling.
The office of the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. We are unable to take your call at this time. If you leave your name, number, and the name of the staffer you're trying to reach, we will attempt to call you back as soon as we can. Thank you.
I'm sorry, but that mailbox is full. Please try again later. Thanks for calling.
Imagine that, trying to call a national public servant's office and the mailbox is full. Well, I did leave a bunch of messages. I have them on recording, and then the phone just I think what happened was I didn't get disconnected, but the phone just rang and rang and rang. It never picked up. So I don't know if they got sick of my almost nightly messages for a while there, but believe me, I presented this to Kevin. And hey, why aren't we leading with hemp? America leading the world with the hemp revolution. How about ending our disposable society? Just gaining individual cooperation and ending global environmental illiteracy. But no. Actual real solutions. Kevin McCarthy will have absolutely nothing to do with it. I promise you. I have tried. But right here, he says we need to manage our forests better so our environment can be stronger. Let's replace Russian natural gas with American natural gas. And let's not only have a cleaner world, let's have a safer world. What? So he's just talking about gas here, that we're still using gas. We're just not transporting it from Russia to use it here. And then it's going to make the world safer, because if we're just reliant upon each other, then we're not fighting over resources, maybe. But do you hear Kevin talk about hemp? No. Do you hear him just talking about reducing electricity? No. Do you hear him talking about ending our disposable society? No. And you won't, because Kevin, like everyone else, doesn't care. And environmental scientists call planting 1 trillion trees a distraction from cutting emissions from fossil fuels. Well, you know what? Everybody who the environmental scientists stand with haven't cut emissions in decades. And these allegedly brilliant scientists don't have that figured out. But they say that planting trees does not eliminate the urgent need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Oh, how could we do that urgently? Oh, that's right. Yeah, how about just educating people, ending our disposable society, gaining individual cooperation, leadership by example. 40% of electricity use is unused electricity, right? You are not even losing anything by turning it off. And right there, that would be the urgent need that we should have done decades ago, except everybody that environmental scientists pal around with, like Gore and McKibben and every other environmental group and celebrity out there who can't be bothered to care, won't allow. So, they can criticize McCarthy, but they're not doing any better. The fact that McCarthy, as the top public servant in the House of Representatives, still has this situation on his plate decades later, is because of the failure of everyone that environmental scientists work with, okay, to solve the problem, and they haven't. And what one of McCarthy's top lieutenants on energy and environmental issues, Rep. Garrett Graves, said, "It lowers energy prices, it lowers emissions, and it makes us more energy independent." Well, so does an actual real solutions, okay? And they have no agenda for this 1 trillion trees. But if we educated people and got people on board right now, today, we could actually have real solutions by getting people to be the solution that they are, okay? Because our public servants and our environmental voices are never going to be it. But right here, John Curtis, a public servant from Utah, he has become a leading Republican voice on environmental issues. And, they're just talking about, make it affordable and reliable. So he's just talking about energy. He introduced legislation to make energy affordable, reliable, and clean. And he actually started the Conservative Climate Caucus 2 years ago. A group has grown to 84 Republicans, representing over a third of the GOP conference. And he's going to be a separate video. There's a whole article about him here. Here's his National Public Servant webpage, but right here, just proving how not knowing about the issues he is. What is he talking about? Oh, that's right. Over here, it's just energy. Okay, nothing about disposable, nothing about ending our environmental illiteracy, nothing about gaining individual cooperation, nothing about hemp, just energy. So yeah, he is just, regurgitating the same ridiculousness that everybody else. And I'm going to be hitting up his Conservative Climate Caucus, and here's just scrolling through. There's a bunch of them here. Now, it says down at the bottom, okay, we'll just scroll. There's a lot. You can go through this page. Yeah, I guess there's a lot here. Oh, well, actually, he says it up at the top, is that, the Climate Caucus, Conservative Climate Caucus does is they educate House Republicans on climate policy and legislation, consistent with conservative values. They organize co-dells and staff dells to better understand technology and issues related to climate, which means they have a bunch of idiots telling people very limited information. They have member and staff briefings on climate proposals, and they introduce members of staff to leaders in the industry, think tanks, and more. So I'm going to be hitting up John Curtis here and seeing if we can get this Conservative Climate Caucus to actually care about solutions. Kevin McCarthy never will. I could do a video, a couple of them, just to keep them short, of calls that I've made to Kevin. And then I used to just get the phone ringing and ringing and ringing, I think. But Kevin McCarthy's ridiculous agenda here, I mean, I'm all for planting trees, okay? But not when you're emitting actual real solutions that would achieve now. Because when does Kevin plan on planting his first of 1 trillion trees? I don't know, years from now. Okay. So, and is John Curtis going to be any better? I highly doubt it. But is his congressional, Conservative Climate Caucus going to be any better? Well, the Congressional Climate Caucus hasn't been for years, and neither has every environmental person on the other side of the aisle. Have they cared about real solutions? No. They're out talking about ridiculous things. So while they're out talking about ridiculous things, problems, real problems, like toxins and pollutants in water, air, and soil, and many negative consequences from our actions keep piling up, and your leaders will not allow real solutions. So stay tuned, people.